Yes, Minul, right? Yeah, so how about the others? So it's the simple way of how we are doing the saving part. Right, and the third one, it's asking what is the function of the following icon in word processing software? Yeah, so the icons are a little bit behind the last question, but we can find those things. So the first one is the left alignment. Second one, the B is going to be the line spacing, right? And the third one is the italic. Fourth one is the bullets, right? Yeah, so again, Minul, like it's save type, they are like by default selecting the type. So since they haven't said it like to be saved in different file format, we really don't need to go for the file format. If you go on for the file format, still it's okay, no problem, right? Yeah, Minul, sorry, Onetra. Yeah, Onetra, it's the type of the file is not really said in here. So if you go for the type, still it doesn't matter. But type is like not really necessary, right? Because they are just asking how to save it. Like if the question asks how to save this as a PDF file, then of course you need to say like select the file, give the file name, and select the file type, which is the PDF, right? So still you can have the answer, have the marks for the answer. So nothing gets changed, right? So the names for the buttons, you better say the A is left alignment, B is line spacing, C is italic, D is bullets, right? So yeah, that sum up the things in the fifth question, right? So for the sixth question, they haven't given any specific answer scheme. So I'm going to answer it by myself. So let's say, right. So the first question is, there are two types of interfaces in an operating system. Name them with an example. So like there are two types, which are GUI, graphical user interface. So you are going. No, I'm not, because I'm a superhero. Okay, so you go and show it for me. Okay. Right, so like two types are graphical user interface and the command line interface, like GUI and CLI, right? And the examples for that, GUI is the MS-DOS, or like Microsoft Disk Operating System. For CLI, command line interface. And for the GUI, you can give many: Android, Windows 95, 97,
So how
2000.
many examples?
Like just one example is enough, Minul. Name them with an example. No, so like for GUI, just one example. For the CLI, just one example is enough. So only 2 marks is given for that question. Right, and for the second one, they say classify the operating system according to the according to procedure. What kind of procedure that they are saying? Classify the operating system according to procedure. Procedure.
So single user, multi-user, multitask.
Yeah, it's actually the depends on, it's not depends on the procedure. Is it so? It is about regarding the task and the users. Let me check whether any term regarding that is in your book. Or what? Hold on. Actually, Seren, managing the hardwares, providing the user interface is not a classification, Seren. You can't go for that particular thing. Like they're just asking classify the operating system according to the procedures. No, like yeah, this is based on the functionality, like single user, multi-user, multitask in real time. That is regarding the functionality. What you have said before, Saran, those are the services of the operating system, right? So procedures, yeah, just take that marks because it's not very clear, right? So like 4 marks, yeah, you take that marks. If they ask us to classify it according to the functionality, then we can say single user, multi-user, multitasking, and the real time, right? Never mind, take that 4 marks, it doesn't matter, right? And for the the third part, it says write the appropriate words to A, B, C, and D. So like software majorly divided into 2 parts, which is the system software and the application software. So A is going to be system software, B is going to be the application software, right? So yes, so this should be system software and B is going to be application software, right? And C and D, the C, if you say C as operating system, OS, you have to go with D as utility software, right? So O, you can say C is utility software and D is operating system, that doesn't matter, right? So if you got all 4 correct, take 4 marks. Right, so A is system software, B is application software, C is operating system, D is utility software.
So like procedure like goes to the meaning of function.
Yeah, but yeah, we can say that, but according to the procedures and functions, there are differences, but anyway, just ignore it, you know, like we can't go for the synonyms and all these things where the things are given in the clear manner, right? Okay, so for the 6th question, it's better you say how many out of 6, not out of 10. 6 වලින් කීයද කියලා දාන්න, right? Yeah, and they are asking brief accounts on any 4 of the following titles. So like you can say USB port is named as Universal Serial Bus. So it can be used to connect many more devices with the computer. So like as an examples, you can connect USB mouse, USB keyboards, scanners, right? Printers, right? Wi-Fi adapters, right? Those kind of things. So most of the devices which is connected with the USB are on the manner of plug and play. That means you can connect it and use it straight away, right? So for USB, I'll write some points here, right? So this is called Universal Serial Bus, right? So can get connect many different devices. Example, mouse, keyboard, printers, scanners, speakers, likewise, right? So, and most the devices are plug and play, right? These three things can be taken, right? Regarding the star topology, you can draw a diagram and show it. This is going to be the star topology, and this is the central device, and these are the you can simply say these are hosts, right? And you can say this is a very easy topology to connect or to establish, much better. When one device, that means a host, went down, will not effects on the network, right? And other than that, you can say it's a low cost establishment, and the single failure of point is the central device. If the central device is damaged, total network is going down, right? So those kind of things can be written. So regarding the computer games, you can say these are one of the application programs, right? Most of the things are like are being created for the entertainment. But what the worst part or the disadvantage of these things are like the people who are playing it, they tend to addict to these things, and they jeopardize the other important plans if they addicted to this. And again, if you are addicted to something like this, it will cause you many health and mental problems, and some sicknesses as well, right? Yeah, I think you know better than me regarding the computer games. Like if you are asked to write a essay, you may write an essay or two regarding the computer games, right? So it is that. And regarding the utility software are the softwares which helps for the operating system as well as the user to have their task in a smooth manner, right? So as the examples, we can say antivirus softwares, task manager, disk cleanup softwares, system maintaining softwares, right? Disk defragmentation software, something like that, right? And those are one of the categories in system software. Simplex data transmission. You can say simplex data transmission is one of the three modes of the data transmission. So simplex can be done only for the one direction, either it is from sender to receiver. Examples are like TV broadcasting. So the TV station will be the sender, and our television or the radio is going to be the receiver. So like they can send a signal to broadcast their message to the receivers, but receivers will not be able to communicate through the radio or the TV to the broadcasting station, right? So that is regarding the simplex data transmission. And unguided media, it is one of the two types of communication media. So guided and unguided. So unguided means like the wireless part, right? So unguided medias are later divided into several categories, or like there are several examples regarding it. So radio waves, in other words, you can say electromagnetic waves, and you can use microwaves, right? And you can use infrared, and you can use laser technology as well, right? So those are the examples for the unguided media, and this will save the cost upon the wires. So it in some way it is like cost effective, or like the cost saving when we are establishing a network. But in other words, sometimes it will have some signal interference, so the network may cause some delays, or like have some problems regarding the communication when it comes to the wireless, right? So if the signal strength is not enough, then it will cause some problems to you, right? So likewise, you can give the short notes regarding these things. Right. Okay, people. So you can sum up the marks, and when you are summing up, just take 5 marks from any chosen questions, right? Because you don't take the marks for the entire 7 questions, right? So as I remember, the first question was compulsory. Let me see. Yeah, first question is compulsory, and the other 4, any 4 you can take and have the marks regarding. So the first question has 20 marks, and others will be having 10 marks. So when you're having first question and 4 other questions, so it will give you 60 marks. And for the MCQ, you are getting 40 out of 40. So see how many out of 40 for the MCQ, see how many out of 60 for the
So
essay.
first question is out of 20.
Yeah, first question is out of 20, right? So like 2 marks for each part, and others are like the marks are given, right? So you can go with those marks in the paper, right? So some of the things, and see how it's happening out of 60 and out of 40, and see what will be the total, the final one. And it's better you send me the total marks through the WhatsApp as a personal message, right? Don't put it on the group, right? I need to know how the marks are went with you, right? So just send me so I can track it down. So any questions regarding this paper? Is there any question that need to be discussed again? I can go for it, or else, yeah, Sarah, in the 7th one, they are just asking you to, they were just asking you to write any 4 either. Yeah, so 2.5 for each. Okay, so yeah, so I'm moving to the new lesson. You can send me the marks as a WhatsApp message, right? So let's start discussing the Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So which is the 8th lesson on your syllabus. Right, so regarding the PowerPoint, it is a presentation software, right? So we generally we are here to talk about the presentation software. So the product that we are going to discuss is the Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So here they have given two different interfaces, like Microsoft PowerPoint and the one from the Open Office, right? So yeah, so like basically the very first days, like where we didn't have electronic presentation facilities, so we use something called OHP, right? Overhead projectors to do the projection, right? So that OHP works like you are going to use a transparent sheet to write things using a marker or something. So then you place that one at the top of this bed here, right over here. Then there will be a light which indicating what is in there, and it can be like zoomed using the lens which is stays on here, right? So it actually projects to some like a screen or a wall which with the things which is on here, right? Let me show you how the projection is happens, right? Yeah, these pictures kind of giving you the things, right? So let me take a clear picture regarding this. Or we can go for the videos if you want.
I can't hear.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Like yeah, hold on. Let me share it with the sound.
More are still around, although not really used. The more common method was this device, an overhead projector, and this could be used anywhere. It wasn't very expensive, and schools all had these, and most business offices that did any sort of presentation stuff would have one too. And there's a a big projector bulb down in the bottom with a fan keeping it cool, and a Fresnel lens to distribute the light evenly over the surface. And then it projects the light up through a reflector here, which then projects onto the screen. So these could be used in a moderately lit room so that you didn't have to have a big darkened room like a 35 millimeter slide in an auditorium. In schools, these were often used by teachers that just wrote on the transparency material, which is this kind of material that was just laid over the top. And you could write directly while you were talking, and because you had, complete freedom to write, draw, do anything else, or even use colored pens, the presentation materials could be anything you wanted. However, they were a little crude, and more often, for more formal occasions, the slides were made by typing on a typewriter. The type was fairly small, and for some typewriters, particularly the IBM typewriter, there was a large print type element that you could get that would produce type that was a little taller than normal type. And those were used for a lot of presentations too. Then PowerPoint could create this type of presentation material much nicer. And in particular, Apple had a laser printer. This was the dawning days of laser printers, and well before inkjet printers. So the laser printer produced beautiful, crisp text, but the typical ones of the day produced very small text, similar to a typewriter. And they had some slightly larger, but it was still a lot like just a very nice typewritten slide. The Apple Laser Writer, which came out in '80s with styles and so forth.
So I'm skipping the things. For
so as PowerPoint came along, there was
so you can print something
presentations
on the,
that looked more like this. So this was is a slide actually produced on PowerPoint, and you'd have this beautiful typeset looking text. It was still kind of crude because the presenter had to put slides up on the table, manually, and little tricks like showing bullet points one at a time was usually done by putting a piece of paper over the top of the transparency, and as you talked, sliding down the paper to reveal the points one at a time. This was typically frustrating for the audience because this looked kind of bad, and they were always getting little glimpses of what was coming and then having it covered up and so forth. But that was the way presentations were done, and they were black and white because there was no color laser printing, and there was, in general, color printing was only a very low resolution prospect. So you could get some fairly nice looking black and white slides. Here's one with a picture of a computer screen from PowerPoint in it. So
right.
but they were limited to black.
That's how the OHP projector works, right? So now you got the idea, right? So we use a transparent sheet. We can write on it, either using that special ink, which is in the white color, or you can use a black marker or anything. The only thing is you need to write on the paper. So that particular things will be reflected to the board, right? And later they have used this slide projector. So where you have to have the sliding tapes on here, right? As they say, the completely different process has to be followed in order to make the slide required for a slide projector. The image taken by a camera have to be prepared in a lab and fixed onto the slides here too, right? So then slide by slide, you will be able to view that, right? So let's see whether we can find a slide projector thing as well.
What's up, YouTube? So today I have my Kodak Carousel 750H projector that I will be demonstrating for you. I gotta get a regular video camera nowadays.
So here they are
cheap
like
enough, certainly.
feeding the already prepared images, which is in the lab, right, as the negatives to the slide projector.
I'm gonna load at least like
So how do they prepare the image in the lab?
Like in the very same way that we are having a like photo from a photo reel, like not like a digital one. That manual reel.
Yes.
Yeah, so they make a negative, right? So then they are projecting it.
my hand, and we will be off.
Right.
I haven't used this for a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause it one more time, YouTube, while I level. Otherwise, you'd be looking at a picture on my couch. Okay, I found it. There's a little like slide knob here where you can raise and lower it. I think. My remote is in hand, and we are ready to rock and roll. Oh, gotta focus. This is the focus knob. Beautiful, lovely picture of the railroad tracks or a bridge. There's Aunt Lou, Aunt Mary, Aunt Esther, and Julie cutting at a rug. This is about in 1980. Wearing their
right. So it is like unlike the common projectors. This was very like has a very big homework to do. Like so, we have to prepare.
This must be on
first.
My Aunt Lou's
right
tour to Alaska or somewhere.
Okay, so that's what we can
There's
see regarding the slide projector, right? So you have to load the images that you have created already, right? So you have to take the pictures and have to prepare it in a lab and have to make it fit to the projector, right? Then you are loading those things and you can see one after the other, right? And nowadays we are just having multimedia projectors, so like everything is built inside it, so we only need a device to get connected with it, and then we can project it as a second screen, right? So presenting is done in those manners, has done on these manners. Now these cases are very rare to find. Now everyone is shifted to the multimedia projectors, and projectors are now in various different technologies, right? In the very first era, we had digital processing like DPL projectors, right? So it has a bulb kind of a thing inside to light up the things and to do the projection scenario. Now they are changing that technology to the LED technology using the light emitting diodes. So like there are like home theater type of things, right? So like there are many different types of projections in the world now. So like now, but everything is just a category under the multimedia project. And when you are going forward from the multimedia project, the next one is the 3D projection, right? So like it's something that we can see in the Iron Man, right? There are some devices which can project on like that manner as a 3D image, but still it's a little bit costly to have the 3D projection, right? So what we are trying to get to know here, how to prepare a presentation to be projected from a multimedia projector, and how should be the things are to be arranged, right? Yeah, so here they have told you about the characteristics of the good quality presentation. So like those characteristics will be on these things. Like when you are doing a presentation, a number of lines on a presentation slide should not exceed 9. So the optimal number of lines will be like from 6 to 9. So it's much better if you like maintain, if you can maintain it like 7 to 8 lines on a specific slide, or like that means slide means the screen area that you can see for the moment, right? And the font size, it's better you go for 32 or above, because when you are doing a presentation, that presentation is like will be seen with a audience where they are not very closer, like we closer to the monitor screen, right? So they have to stay somewhere remote from the screen and have to look into that. So it's better you have the bigger fonts when you are using the when you are creating the slides, right? And correct use of grammar and language, because it's the we are going to give the idea, or we are going to present something to the audience, so they should be able to grab the idea that we are going to talk. And that doesn't mean you are going to type the entire thing on your slide for the audience to have read that. This is just a presentation, so you won't be reading the slides. You are just using the slides to make your presentation an effective one, right? Like if you are describing about a car, it's better we have a picture of the car or the specific component of that car, right? So we can do our presentation with the help of that particular picture or the slide, right? And inserting images, drawings, tables, or graphs. So you have to use it, because generally we say a picture is 1,000 words, right? But use of many different pictures, also like lot of pictures in a one single slide, will make your slide a little bit complex for the audience. So like you have to use the pictures as necessary, right? අපි car එකක් ගැන describe කරනකොට නේද, we are not going to put the pictures of cars in hundreds, right? Like one car or a two, or like if we are like concentrating on one specific part of the car, so it's better we focus on that specific car part on your slide, right? So it should be relative, and it should be like eye-catching of the audience, and the concentration should be on the specific area that we are presenting, right? And the drawings, tables, and graphs are also there to represent things in a effective manner, right? And the colors, this is very critical, because some of the people, when they are like when they are creating the presentations, they don't very much think about the color contrast. Like sometimes they use blue screen and the colors of the fonts, like with some bluish effects as well. So like background is also blue, and the fonts are also blue. So when you are doing it on the computer, it may looks very nice, and it will look very attractive, but when it projected to the projector screen, that way then you are going to face some problems, right? So when you are using the colors, it's better you always use the contrast colors. Like if your background is lighter, it's better your text and the content be much darker. Or if your background is darker, it's better you have lighter colors for the fonts, so it will contrast, right? So that is coming with the experience, as well as the like the way that you are going to think how you are going to make the presentation, right? And when you are using the animations and videos, it's better you use it as appropriately. That means like මම අර ඔයගලන්ට OHP project එක ගැන පෙන්නනකොට, if I take a 20 minutes video about the OHP projector, then it won't be my presentation, it will be the video's presentation, right? So like if you need to have a specific thing on your presentation, it's better you like capture the specific moments or like capture the specific video clip that you need, right? එතකොට video එක අරගෙන කලින් edit කරලා හදලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් තැන හරියට දැනගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්, right? ඔය විදිහට manage කරගන්න ඕනේ. And again the target group, right? So like it should be considered like then if you are asked to do a presentation to your the juniors, right, like the grades in 6th and 7th, you should be able to create something attractive for themselves, not to yourself, right? Because your mindset and their mindset are different. So you have to have the idea about who are the audience that this presentation is going to view and how we are going to present that, right? So even it is practical when it comes to the practical world, like if you are presenting something to the government officers, so you have to prepare it on that manner. If you are presenting to the teachers, you have to prepare it according to their self. So as the presenter, you have to have the idea which kind of audience that you are going to deal with and how I'm going to approach it. So like it is again as I told you, the way you think, right? So you have to think and you have to research how the things are going to present for this kind of group or this kind of audience, right? So there are many ways that you can find those details, like so surfing internet and referring to the books, right? In most of the cases surfing internet, right? So then it should be something attractive by their self, right? Okay, so as the presentation software, there are like as we talked earlier, there are free and open source softwares as well as proprietary or the commercial softwares. Like MS PowerPoint is a proprietary one, Apple Keynote is a proprietary one, right? Coral Presentation, again a proprietary one, and this LibreOffice Impress is an open source, right? OpenOffice org Impress, again an open source one. And if you think about the Google Slides, it's again an open source one, right? You don't need to pay to use those things, right? And so like as I told you, like when it comes to the Google Sheets, it's a cloud service. So like there are application softwares in those two platforms, like offline and online, right? So you know what are the benefits of having something online and what are the benefits of having something offline. So the same thing applies here, right? So and again when it comes to the fundamentals of the presentation software, so to get to know about the software now we are going to do, so like they are showing you the what's the features of the presentation software. Here they are like have taken the MS Office or like Microsoft PowerPoint interface, and later they have taken the Impress one, right? So let me have the PowerPoint to you. So yeah, so this is Microsoft PowerPoint 2019 version, right? So when you are like starting your program, you will be on this particular place, and it will differs from version to version, not very much differing, but it will have these common things like blank presentation, and there are some templates given, and you can go for more templates from here. And in 2019 they have listed down what are the presentations that we use recently, but maybe in some presentation softwares they may not list this thing out, right? So like if you need to take a new presentation, you can have many different options. Like you can have a blank presentation and build it by yourself, or you can have predefined templates to have the presentation and an attractive one, right? So we are going to use a blank presentation for our study purposes. So when you are having a blank presentation, it's going to be like this. So in 2019, we are given these design ideas, but not in other cases, as I remember in the older versions, right? So like it illustrates, it has his name at the top of the presentation. When we are not saved it, it's just given the presentation one as the default name. So the quick toolbar is here, like we found in any other software packages in the office. And the three buttons, which is the close one, restore one, and the minimize one, right? In 2019, there are like several different and the extra things, like who are using it, whether you need to share this or what, right? And these things are common, like you can find the ribbons as you find those things in the Word and Excel, right? So if you take the home ribbon, those are some very similar things on the font and paragraph, as well as in the drawing editing groups, right? The only new group here is the slide, right, which describes how the slides are going to be, right? We are going to discuss those things. So I'm closing this for the moment. Right, and at the bottom, as any other office package software, there are like status bar, which shows how many slides are there and what is the language that you are using. And here at the bottom, the presentation types, like how the presentation is going to show, right? We are going to discuss these things, right? And the zoom controller. So like in the previous two softwares, when we are dealing with those two softwares, I was always asking you to keep this to the 100%. But when it comes to the presentation, I'm asking you to make it or like handle its size, which is fit to your screen. What සම්පූර්ණ presentation එකේ තියෙන slide එක. We call this is a slide. So a slide එක හරියට පේන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. නැත්තම් ඔයා presentation එක හරි විදිහට manage කරගන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So don't go for the 100%. It will show you, that means you have to scroll up and down to have the correct way, right? And it's much better if you are having on this manner. So you need to have some bigger fonts, which will be a very help for the audience when you are presenting it. So like it's better you have it on this manner, right? Okay, so moving forward, so let's see what they have talking about. So we talk about the title bar. Menu bar is not in ours. So like let's say, yeah, quick access toolbar, title bar. We talked about tabs and ribbons. The slide pane. Slide pane means the pane which is showing you the slides, right? So you can take a new slide by clicking on the pane and just pressing the enter key. So you can have any number of slides by pressing the enter key, and be careful, like these slides are having something called layout, which we are going to discuss soon. So those layouts will be changed, right? So when you are starting something newly, you can create the things, you can format your slide how it's going to be, right? Or else later there is a facility called slide master. So using that also you can format the slide areas and the text boxes and all these things using the slide master. So it doesn't matter, and it will be easier for you to have the formattings at the beginning of the content, like how you are going to use your title and how you are going to use the rest of the slides in your presentation, right? So like how many slides won't be a matter. If you need a slide, you can just click on the slide that you need and you press enter. So you'll be having a new slide at the bottom, or else you can just click in between the slides and just press enter, then you will be having another new slide in between. So likewise, you can delete the slides in the very same way by clicking the specific slide and pressing the delete button. And if you need to delete several types of slides or like several slides, you can select them by using the shift key or the control key. Like if you need to select here and there, you have to use the control key. If you need to select together, you can use the shift key. So it will select the things. So you can delete. Right. So slides will be having numbers, and you can change the place of the slide by clicking and dragging it on the slide pane. Right. And you can change the slide appearance or the slide layout by clicking on the specific slide. So now here my second slide, I'm going to take this as the first one. So this is the title slide. If you move to the home ribbon and move to the layout command, there are different kinds of layout. So you can change that layout according to your requirement. So if I change this layout in this manner, so it will become on that particular way. Hold on. Yeah, so they are talking something about new in here, right? So likewise, you can change your layout. So changing a layout of a one slide won't change the layout of the others. So if you need to change the layout of many, it's better you select those slides, and you better go for the layout. So if you like before, it is something like this. So if I need to change the layout of these two, I will change it and I will select it like this. So this particular one will be having this, and this is not changed, and these two are changed to that particular things, right? So the layout can be changed on that manner, right? And by resetting, you can reset the position, size, and the formatting of the slide placeholder to their default settings. But be careful with this, customize කරලා හදාගත්තයින් පස්සේ reset එක වුණොත් all you can do is the undo redo thing, right? So if you undo it, you will be there on the previous manner, right? But resetting will reset the entire thing, right? So still you can change it to the way it was, right, by doing the undo facility, and the reset is there. And section, you can change the sections. So this is not in your syllabus, but I'll tell you, right? You can change the sections of the PowerPoint, and you can maintain those things as different things, right? So you can minimize these things and deal with in the section manner, but which is not very much needed in your syllabus, and they haven't talked about these things too, right? So here we need to know how to change the layout, and if you need a new slide, you can take a new slide from here as well, right? So either you can click and select what kind of a new slide you want, or you can just click the new slide. So it will add a new slide where the cursor is for the moment in the slide pane. Right, so these are the basic stuff, people. Is it clear to you so far? Yes, people. Right, okay. How about the others?
Yes, sir.
Right, great.
Sir, have you activated the PPTX?
Didn't get you.
Have you activated the software?
This one? Yes, yes, Vinod. So I use that OEM key, so it cost me only $400 or 500, as I remember. Yeah, so people, I'm going to move forward. Let's see what is there on your book that they are discussing with. So they are just saying about the controllers which we goes through, yeah, they are talking about these view tabs. I need you to take your attention to that particular place, right? Right, so these things: normal view, reading view, slide sorter view, and slide show, right? So hold on, let me open something. Yeah, now everything is regarding the this particular thing I can't open because it's not yet finished. Let me see this, the final presentation. Yeah. So this is something regarding the thing. So yeah, so like when we create something like this, so using these views, we can change the way it shows. So this is the normal view, right? So like slide sorter will help you to sort the things here and there, right? So you can change the positions easily, right? And you can shift those things in the way you want, right? And if you go to the reading view, it's just show you a one big particular slide regarding like for the screen, just one thing, right? This is not a presentation part. So like by pressing the escape, you can come to the previous view, and this presentation view will show you how the things are going to happen when you are doing a presentation. So it's going to be like this when you are presenting, like it's duplicate the way, or like it's implement, or like show you the way how the things are going to happen inside when you're presenting it, right? How the things are going to happen when you are presenting it, right? So those are the views that we talked about. So in your book, they have shown it clearly, right? Normal view, slide sorter view, reading view, and slideshow view, right? So then they are talking about those views, right? And the Zoom controllers, right? And then LibreOffice is also been explained, so which is the same stuff which we need not to go, right? And yeah, I'm coming to this slide layout thing of his themes and slide layout. So like we've discussed about these things, right? The different slide layouts where we can take those things and how we are going to change those things regarding these slides, right? And yeah, now they are like asking us to create a presentation, right? And save it, and they're asking us to view it, right? So let me go through the stuff, and yeah, let's walk through that. Okay, so this is how it's going to happen. So basically, when we are having a presentation, we always having a title slide. So like this is the one which is helping us, the title slide, right? So you can type the things, right? Let's say computer as our title. So in the very same way you have done in the word processing softwares, you can apply different kinds of fonts, colors, effects, right? So it is up to you to do the things in the way you want, right? So here they have given a formatting part as well. So either if you want, you can have some formattings as well, right? So have some colors. Right. Yeah, so if you want, you can have the titles. And people, did you recognize they have given us different kinds of text boxes here. So we can move it by clicking on the border, right? So if you don't need anything, you can get rid of this, right? So if you need new something new to type, you can't just type on the slide won't give itself to type, so you need a text box to be taken, right? It is there at the home, and in the drawing part, the very first icon is the text box, so you can take it and draw it as you want. So then only you will be given the ability to type on a slide. So like just double clicking on the empty space won't give you to it won't give you the ability to type things, right? So let me have it bigger, right? And in the second slide, I'm going to manage the layout as title and the content, right? And this title you can give the any other names, like let's say input devices, right? And you can have the things or the content upon this particular slide, this particular text box. So when it comes to the header and the title, it is something like when it comes to the body part, it is something like a bulleted text box that you are giving, right? So you can say things right. So likewise, and again, remember the things that we discuss, like these font sizes will be it's better if we have something large than 32, right? So this is 44 in size and this is 28 in size, so it's better if you can have a bigger one. And always try to maintain the similar font sizes for the titles and for the content, right? එහෙම වුණාම අපේ presentation එක theme එකක තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? So I have made the title, the main title is a bigger one, and these titles 44, if you are going to use this on another slides, be sure to have this on 44 and have this on 32 if you are maintaining those two things, right? And always, as I told you, less number of words, and it should be like in between 6 to 9, right? So when you are presenting something like this, you can use some pictures as well. So like mouse, keyboard, scanner, and microphone, it's better you have some pictures, right? So let me find some pictures here. Yeah, it's hard to find the pics. Yeah, I only have limited amount of pics. Let me download some things. Yes, so I'm having 4 pictures. So yeah, so I can take all 4 to my presentation at once, right? So I'm taking those things onto my presentation. So they are big, right? So you have to format the things, right? So you can select a picture. The first thing that you need to manage is the way they are going to be in that point. So you have to think about a size, right? And it's better we have on this size. So once we select a picture, the format tab will show how the size is, right? So if we copy this particular one, either we can change it, or like we can make those things as smaller as we want, right? So according to our requirement, we are going to do the changes, right? So we may need some space. So if you put shift and enter together, it will give you the space without the without a bullet, right? So you can place the things, right? Try to making it attractive is up to you, right? That is based on the creativity how you are going to use this. And I'll show you one trick here. Maybe you know about these things, right? Let me picture එක වටේට මේ සුදු පාට තියෙන එක සුදු පාට කොටු කොටු තියෙන එක අපිට ළඟ තියා ගන්න අමාරුයි. So you can do something like this. You can select the picture, you can go for the format, and in the format tab inside this adjust group, under the color, right at the very end of the color, it says set transparent colors. So just click on that, then your mouse pointer is something like this. So you come to the place where you need to have the transparent. Let me සුදු පාට එකේ මට transparent කරගන්න ඕනේ. So I click on that. So my picture is transparent now. So the background is gone. So you can do the very same thing for the others as well. So we can have the we can vanish the background. First of all, you have to select the specific image, right? Otherwise you won't be able to do that. So then just set transparent colors. So because you are like අපිට internet again PNG format එකේ තියෙන පින්තූර හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් නම් වඩා හොඳයි, because PNG means it will be having the transparency, right? But when we can't find such, we can go for something like this, right? So just arrange it in the way the audience get interested, right?
We can convert the JPG to PNG.
Yes, but still you will be having the background, like still it will convert into a PNG which has a white color background. Like if they like අපිට transparency එක්ක කියන්නේ අපි Photoshop වගේ එකක් පාවිච්චි කරොත් GIMP පාවිච්චි කරලා අපි PNG එකක් save කරොත්, it's going to have only the like the what we call the kind of background එක නැතුව save වෙන්නේ. But if we are going to change the format of a JPG into a PNG, the what we call the characteristics of the image is not going to lose. So we have to either we have to take this into the GIMP and cut down the background white color, then we have to save it as a PNG, then it will be something like this, right? But this is easy when it comes to the white background, right? මේක ටිකක් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති වෙලා යනවා background එකට color එකක් ආපු ගමන්. because ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගලන්ට අර කැඩිච්ච තැන් පෙන්නනවා. right? ඒ කියන්නේ නිකන් අර අපි පත්තරයකින් ඉරලා ගත්තා වගේ. right? So you can do these kind of things, right? So change the title and have the points and having the pictures onto this, right? So what else they are asking us to yes, yeah, so they are talking about inserting objects and all these things. Still we can do those things, and I'll tell you how to have a background style as well. So you can right click and go for the format background, right? So go, when you are going to the format background thing, you can have solid fill, or you can have a gradient fill, or you can have a picture or texture fill, pattern fill, and you can hide background graphics. You can do a lot of things, but remember, when you are doing things, it should not disturb the audience for them to like look at your slide, right? එතකොට disturb වෙන එකක් නොවෙන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මම gradient fill එක දැම්මම මේව නම් ලොකුවටම අවුල්ලා නැහැ, හරියටම sharp විදිහට මේගොල්ලෝ නැති වෙලා තියෙනවා, right? But in some of the pictures දැන් මේ මෙයාගේ මේ 7 ඇල්ල තියෙන තැන ටිකක් අවුල් විදිහට තියෙන්නේ, right? So that's why I'm telling you, like when you are using this with a colored background, so we specifically need to find some PNG pictures, so we have to get this into the gym and have it a clear one, right? So if you are going to like yeah, right, you can change the background gradient if you want by here, right? So gradient will help you to like change the gradient in many different ways. Can අපි මෙතනින් වෙන පාටක් දුන්නොත් එයා ඒක ඒ විදිහට change කරගන්නවා, but be very careful when you are working with the gradients. If you need a solid color, so you can go for the solid color and choose some solid color from here, right? So it will be like this, right? And to the pictures and textures, so you can have something like this, right? As well as you can choose a texture from here. There are like some predefined textures, right? Some nice textures, like you are working on a tile. But remember now, if you choose some texture like this, make an add that pay like audience will not see the content clearly, right? So when you are choosing something, be wise to choose something that contrasts your content. Otherwise, your presentation will not be an effective one, right? Okay, so I'm going to add a background picture to this particular thing as well, right? And again, I need to tell you something now. Once I format the background, it's just this particular slide had the background changing. So like there is a button called apply to all. So if you press it, you can see all my slides are getting the same texture now, right? Previously it was not there, it was just one. Now if you need to apply to all, you can go with the apply to all, or you can apply different backgrounds to each and every one, right? So like here you can change, so this will be having this and this will be having this. And again, you have to be very careful when you are using these options, right? මොකද සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි presentation එකක් කරනකොට අපි audience එකේ ඇහැට කරදර වෙන දේවල් කරන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේක එකින් එක එක විදිහට මේක change වෙන්න ගියාම මේක පොඩ්ඩක් හරි අමාරුයි audience එකට බලාගෙන. So it's better you have a same theme, right? Later we are going to talk about the themes as well, yeah, and as the same background color. Content එක ගැලපෙන විදිහට change වෙන එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ, right? Okay, so likewise you can go when it comes to the pattern fill, you can give some patterns as well, right? some patterns are very disturbing to the eyes, like this one, right? මේ වගේක් එනකොට ඇස් වලට හරි අමාරුයි, right? So you can edit the backgrounds as you want, and you can have it. And again, if you put this tick here, hide background graphics, if you use any graphics for the background, it will not be shown. But graphics means not these patterns, right? අපි පින්තූරයක් ගෙනල්ලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ පින්තූරේ hide කරනවා, right? All right, so that is regarding the formatting backgrounds, right? So you should be very keen about doing things, right? To have things without the disturbance to the customer's eyes or the audience eyes, right? All right, so I'm going to apply a computer image to this one as well. So let me take a computer. Right, okay, let me take this. And remember, when you are like downloading the pictures, it's better you go for the pictures with some larger resolutions, right? Otherwise, your pictures will be like when you are enlarging your pictures, it will be in the blur manner, like I'm having something here. මෙයාව පොඩ්ඩක් විතර blur වෙලා මෙතන පේන්න තියෙන්නේ, right? එහෙම වුණාම ටිකක් ඒක අර audience එකකට යනකොට it's not look nicer, right? If I need to place this with the computer word, so I have to get rid of the background, so you can do the same trick.
We can wrap this in text.
You mean like this?
Like with the picture, like the word with the picture.
Yeah. So the way they are changing. Then මෙතනදී මට පොඩ්ඩක් මෙයාව පොඩි කරගන්න ඕනි. So I'm making that small, like to have it with the picture, right? Like when you are doing that, please be careful about the margins, right? Because margins, it's better you have the margins. Slide එකෙන් පොඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් margin එක විදිහට manage කරන එක හොඳයි. මොකද content එක මැද්දට වෙන්න settle කරලා, right? I can give the effect to picture to have the reflection like the text is having. Here they say no. Just the reflection eyes, just the reflection is here. Or else we can use picture effects in here. Yeah, reflection not as big as that. Let's take it closer. I think we can't take it much closer than this. There may be a way. And again, මේව පොඩ්ඩක් මතක තියාගන්න, මේවා syllabus එකේ තියෙන දේවල් නෙවෙයි, right? So when you are going to crop an image, it will make your image smaller. දැන් මගේ අර white space එකක් තිබ්බ නිසා තමයි මගේ මේ reflection එක ළඟ තිබුණ නැත්තේ. So I made it closer by cropping the things, right? Okay, so I'm making this little smaller and taking it to the center, right? So my presentation is now having two slides, which is the title and the other one. So if I play my presentation, this is how it look like, right? So computer is there. Once I click the mouse, it will be changed to the next one. Now මේ slide එකේ තියෙන එක දුර්වලකමක් තමයි you can't see the title clearly. Input devices කියන එක prominent නෑ, right? So you should have those kind of changes, right? තොට මේ කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් පහලට ගත්තා නම් හරි. මෙහෙම එක සැරේ pictures ටික select කරගන්නේ by with the control key, or else you can go with the shift key as well, right? ඉඳලාම පහලට අරගෙන මෙතන තියෙන text box එක අපි ටිකක් පහත් කරොත් අපිට පුළුවන් අදාළ වැඩේ කරගන්න. And it's better we bold face this thing, right? And if you want, there are many ways to indicate this is a title. You can center align, right? If you want, you can underline, or else you can make this text box a prominent one, something like this. Right. So likewise, you can do the changes. So when you are doing a presentation, once you're done with a slide, always look for the preview, right? So the using the slideshow by this button, right? Either you can use the F5 button to do the presentation, right? So then by doing a mouse click, you can change the slides of the presentation. Once the slides are over, it will just finish the presentation automatically. So I press this, and when I'm pressing it again, the next slide, pressing it again, the next slide, pressing it again, the slideshow is over. So if I press again my mouse, I'm going to come to the very same place. Right, so people, is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Right. We'll discuss some more items by next week. So hopefully we will be able to finish the PowerPoint lesson by next week. Right, it's a very small lesson. So then we can move to the database, where you need to learn some things regarding the database, because you are getting some one big question on your question paper regarding the database. When it comes to the PowerPoint, you are just getting some MCQs, maybe some question in the very first question, but not a big question. So let's finish this up and move to the database lesson as soon as possible, right? Okay, so until then, I'm going to finish the session by this point, right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Binadi, I will send you the recording though, right? Just remember me like after 2-3 hours though, because it take times to make the video, right? So I'll send you the link, right? So thank you very much. I'll see you on next week. So we have to finish up the presentation by next week, right? Okay, people. Have a nice weekend and good night to everyone. Thank you very
Good night,
much.
sir. Bye, sir.
Okay, bye.